Anyways, all right. So investment. You started talking about it and everything. Keep talking about it. I think because I think it's kind of cool.
I totally lost my train of thought.
Okay, so one of the interesting things that we talk about with the habit cycle and everything is when you perform a
Okay.
habit or you perform or you enter into this cycle with people, especially at the business level, you or not business level, product level, you end up creating like these immediate rewards. But one of the things that you also have to do is you have to create a sense of future rewards. Um, so like immediate gratification is wonderful, but you also need to create the future benefit because I think you've pointed this out previously is that it's the oftentimes the anticipation of the reward is the reward itself because it is much stronger than the actual reward. Uh, does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. So he talks, at least our friend here talks about um, making the rewarding consistent so it's not predictable. Helps to, it goes back to gambling theory where if you
Hmm.
don't know when the reward is coming, it builds anticipation, and that anticipation builds craving.
Yeah. Yep. That's why like Powerballs and stuff can get up to billions of dollars.
Right. Plus, they're
It's crazy.
amazingly wonderful investments.
Yes.
Go Powerball.
Go gamble.
Yes. All your money so that you can become rich.
I don't know how you would do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how he said it. But moving on. So investment is a little is the opposite. So rewards are the system giving you
Hmm.
something based off of your participation. Investment is requiring something from you to get commitments and to make it so that you multiply your fear of loss because you've committed to something. There are studies that show that if you join stop smoking, for example, right? If
Yeah.
if you go and pay in $600 with the chance to get $800 at the end, you're more likely to do the behavior than if you were going to get an $800 reward for completing the challenge or whatever you promised yourself you would do.
Hmm.
So that fear of losing out uh, from is one thing, but it's multiplied when you have buy-in because it's money you've already earned that you're losing out on,
Hmm.
or investment. Now, I don't think it has to be cash, and I think it kind of explains that. So it doesn't have to be that you come in with, X dollars,
Hmm.
but it could also be you're required to share something. You're required to tell your friends or to
Hmm.
build something. That he talks about that if somebody builds a craft and sells it, they will value it at 4 times higher than if somebody else were to build the same thing
Hmm.
and they were to sell it.
Hmm.
And I'm not used to talking so much.
No, but I think it's wonderful because you're going down. You're really You're talking up my alley. Talking up
Mhm.
my views. What I like. It's good
Right,
stuff.
right. It is interesting. Yeah. It applies really
I
directly to your side hustle.
Yeah.
For in
It's
my industry,
hard.
I require people to do things also for a couple reasons. One is that when they have participation, they this is what forms commitment.
Hmm. Yep. It does. So the question. So you. What you. The question is always like, how do you create that participation? One of the people that I know, I used to listen to for business advice all the time. But then I just kind of stopped listening to him for that because anyway, the reasons. One of the ways he talks about that is he talks about this in the form of what you might call social proof. Um, so if you are trying to create a business and trying to create something, put people out there or put stuff out there, what you should be doing on your marketing channels and stuff, if you're not going down the Apple route of creating a lifestyle branding and trying to market that way, what you should be doing is helping people and trying to come up with ways that help people for free. And because what you end up doing is you create a social well, it's not social proof. Social proof is where you get testimonials. Uh, Reciprocity is what I'm talking about. So like you try to create a thing where you are, hold on, you help somebody, and there's something within us where if we feel like we got helped, we feel like we have to give something back. uh, we have to reciprocate somehow. uh,
Mhm.
Good example of this is, okay, you go, holidays are coming up, you go to Christmas, you go to a Christmas party, and somebody comes and gives you a gift, and you never got that person a gift. Well, you feel bad because you didn't get them a gift. That's what I'm talking about. So it's like when you're trying to build a brand or something, if you go and you help people for free, you can use the idea of, okay, well, I helped you, so why don't you help me? Do me a favor now. I helped you do this. Why don't you do this for me? Does
Yeah.
that make sense? Um,
Yes.
and so that's kind of like that kind of falls into the field of investment of trying to get people to become involved in what you want them to do. So you start trying to get them to invest into your business, and it's not like investing where, oh, I want, here, I'm going to give you money to go run your business. It's investing in the whole, in the activities and things that your business is trying to
I love it.
do. Mhm. Let's see.
What is it when I don't think it's related, but it's kind of plays together. When you have somebody do you a favor
Okay.
and they do that favor, they are more likely to do a bigger favor or bigger buy-in,
It's that whole reciprocity thing.
but
That's
in
kind of
opposite directions.
a lot of it is, I think we just don't want to feel like we are indebted to somebody, and so we give them, we do more for them in the long
Mhm.
run,
Mhm.
because we want them to feel like they are indebted to us.
Mhm.
So I think I
Okay.
think I think that's the way that goes.
Okay. There's a certain kind of beautiful logic to that.
Yeah. That's what I think. I mean, I could be completely wrong with that.
You probably are, but
I mean,
so
I'm
what?
wrong about a lot of
Sounds good.
things.
I'm not. I'm always right,
Okay, good for you.
except when I talk to my wife.
That is very true. What about anything else about investment and stuff?
I don't know. Do we nail it so succinctly?
I think we have.
All right. Move on.
So a lot of the rest of the book is about well, so what I love is he does recognize and bring up that, hey, guess what? All of this is manipulation. Like you are manipulating someone to do something. And he creates this beautiful little manipulation matrix, which I find hilarious. Um, so he sets it up so that, okay, if you have a product that does not improve the user's life, and the maker, so the person who makes the product, doesn't use it, you become a dealer. So it's like drug dealers essentially.
Really?
They
Because I would have called it the opposite. Like a drug dealer is really providing value that somebody uses.
okay.
But
but
no,
it
he
doesn't.
says it directly.
Yeah,
So I guess I'm just arguing with him, and I shouldn't,
yeah, you
because he
are.
wrote the book.
Yep. Don't argue with the author. Arguing with
I'm
the
gonna
author
argue with the
is
other.
arguing with the author is stupid. You should never do that. The author is always right.
Always right, never wrong in my mind.
um, but he makes the point that okay, so if you have a product that doesn't improve the user's life, but the maker uses it, you are an entertainer.
Okay.
Um, so I would say at this like TV shows are a good example of this because like TV shows don't always improve your life,
Yep.
especially reality TV shows. But very often the people who make those shows, they're also the ones who like consume those types of shows as well. So they're entertainers. Um, but then there's like the scenario where okay, you have a product that does improve the user's life, but the person who makes that product doesn't use it. He talks about he calls them peddlers, um, which I look at that like, well, that's not like a bad thing. Okay, it's like you make something, but you're not the one who uses it. Okay, fine. Like most of the apps that I make, I don't use them, and some of the apps that and some of them do improve people's lives. So you would like he would consider me a peddler, but I'm also like, but that's not a bad thing. I'm helping people get better. So anyway,
Okay. Yeah, well, he didn't call you a snake venom salesman, so
I mean, that's what you are.
of course I am, but I'm beautiful snaky salesman.
Very beautiful. Uh, and then he calls the final one where you have a product that does materially improve people's lives, and the maker actually uses it, a facilitator. Um, so a good example of this, Twitter would probably be a good example. Actually, no. Twitter's probably more. Elon Musk is more of an entertainer because I don't think Twitter materially improves anybody's lives, and yet
Tesla
Elon
neither.
Musk uses it. So he's definitely an entertainer. Never mind. What would be a good example of that? Oh, you know what? The Calm app or Headspace uh, apps to help people, work on meditation and things like that. Like that's something that materially improves people's lives, and the makers of those apps use it on the regular. So I would
Oh,
say those are
yeah.
facilitators.
Yep, yep, and I'm gonna argue with that, support that because I'm making a meditation app that's amazing.
Ooh, fun. Another good one would be Uber. Uber and Lyft. Those are facilitators because those materially improve people's lives,
Okay.
and the people who make those apps use those apps.
Yes.
What else?
So,
Anything else?
I think we killed it.
Yeah.
Let's get going.
Let me see what else. Let me look and see if there's anything else. Doo-doo-doo. Yeah,
Talks about the Bible app. Always makes me happy when somebody talks about the Bible.
dude, he did.
Holy triggers. Yeah,
I honestly think he should have written the entire book as a form of case studies. I think that would have been better for him because
I don't
I
know.
think,
He includes enough case studies throughout, sprinkles on some
yeah,
references. So yeah, I mean, the last quarter of the book or third of the book is case studies.
and they're wonderful, and I think he
Yeah.
did a very good job of breaking them down. But I think
Mhm.
if he had done the entire book on case studies, or maybe he had done a separate book as a case study book, I think that would have been really cool. So.
Yeah, it would have been fun to dive into this more,
Mhm.
and I would be interested in that if he has a course on that or something like that. I think that'd be fun to go through some case studies, or
Mhm.
if any of the listeners has a site on these kind of case studies, that would be a lot of fun.
It would be. I like it. I'm a big fan of case studies. I think that they're super helpful for people and stuff. So,
Mhm.
but long and short of it is, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't read this book and you haven't gotten it, you really and you are in a product space or a tech space or anything, you should get this book. or you should check it with your company because they probably have a copy that you can take, get, and read. I think that's good,
I
really important.
recommend this to all my clients
Yeah,
that produce an app.
yeah,
Not so much for people with websites or if they just have a sales product,
yeah,
a e-commerce app, but any kind of app that is looking for multiple uses per day
yeah.
or daily usage.
Hmm.
I think it's a great resource
I
to talk
agree.
about, right? Because you can sit here and talk about this, and it's easy to go through the first two quadrants
Hmm.
at a high level.
Hmm.
The and but to triggers action, right? Those are easy to go through. Everybody kind of knows some of this, so you create your MVP off of that organic process. But
Yep,
once you have that MVP, it's time to start going through a book like this. Maybe not this one, but a book like this at least, and start diving deeper into it because that conversation is a great way to facilitate the deeper usefulness for a product or an app.
agreed. And what's kind of cool too, if you aren't, what you should also do when you're trying to go through that process is get analytics on
Oh
your
yeah.
app usage. So like you get the MVP. So when you're talking about MVP and you're building out your MVP really needs to have analytics.
Hmm.
And a very screen views and screen touches and taps and things like that should be very much included in that. I highly recommend Firebase as a personally because that is there's a free tier to that, so you
Yep.
can do it on a
Microsoft also has a really nice.
does it.
Yeah.
The other big one I know that's out there that people love, or the other one, some of the other big ones, Adobe. Some people really love Adobe Analytics. And then the other really big one that is current is New Relic, because it's powerful.
Cool.
Um, and it's mainly because New Relic hooks into a lot of external tools and tooling
Oh,
and
I
stuff.
love tooling.
Crashlytics is much better for crash tracking
Yeah, I
than New
agree.
Relic is. But New Relic is good because you can there's a lot of really good ways to hook into it and get alerts and stuff. So yeah, no, I like it. But anyway, getting back to the whole MVP, like you should be including all that. You should have all of that in there because if you to have all of that, what you're then able to do is study how your users are actually using your app and seeing what they're doing, and then you can take what how they're using it and figure out, okay, well, how can we turn this and make it a habit and turn it into something. A really good example of this is there's one app that I was working on. I can't, I can, but I'm not going to mention
Mhm.
which app. Um, they included an animation in there of a card flip. So you tap on the card and it flips around and it shows the back of the card. Tap on it again, flips around and shows the front of the card.
Yep.
And we included analytics around that to determine, okay, how many times is this app being touched? And it was hilarious because that was the most interacted with item in the entire app
Oh, that's funny.
by a
You would never
mile.
suspected.
We had no clue that that was going to be it, and it was just like way above everything else. It got like thousands and thousands of taps to one. It was something crazy.
Oh,
So it
that's
was like,
absurd.
yeah, yeah. So people were kind of like, we were all kind of sitting there like,
What do we make?
oh, what do we do? So basically, we just found a way and we understood. Oh, this
You
is
made the
how.
cow tap butt game.
Yeah, yeah. That's what it was. That's exactly what it was. So
The only better thing you could done is like make it go moo.
I think there was a little bit of a sound included,
Okay, that had to be it.
but yeah, no, it's hilarious. That company that we worked with was really awesome because they allowed us to do a ton of experiments and play around with things, and on top of that, they were very open with their with everything. They were just like, okay, do this, okay, do that. it was just kind of fun. Yeah, it was just awesome.